Hi everyone, happy May. So I can't be very loud today and everyone else in my house is being incredibly loud today. So I brought my lovely USB mic and I'm straight up just going to be talking into it like this for the entire video because I have to be this quiet. I thought this week it would be fun to talk about a few con stories. Con stories are something that I've wanted to do for a little while and I've been thinking of a few, so I thought I'd share a few today. This is weird. So my first con was, well, this is gonna turn out like an ASMR video, which is weird. Or maybe not. Am I saying that right? This is gonna end up like an ASMR video. Oh well. So my first con, as I've stated before, was Anime Boston 2008. Now, Anime Boston 2008 is a particularly well-known con in the history of, well, cons. I know a lot of people refer to different conventions as line con, but this con, for me at least, and for a lot of people, is the line con. Like, the one official only line con. It was my first con and my mom dropped me off with my friend at like 7 a.m. and it was Saturday, and for some weird reason we only waited in line for like 3 hours, which I was like, oh my god, that's such a long time to wait in line. But I had friends who waited in line for like 10, 11 hours the whole day. Like, they didn't get into the con. It was just literally line con, not because, oh, I was in line for 5 hours. It's like, no. The entire con for them was standing in line. So, yeah. Now, what I remember hearing about this was when I was there, like, people were freaking out and the staff was kind of really frazzled. And in retrospect, they were super frazzled, like, compared to what they usually are. At the time, I thought that's just how they always were because, again, this was my first con, I had nothing to compare it to. So I was hearing at the time that the main reason why this particular year it was so bad was because their like servers crashed and we were like handwriting our registration down. It was amazing. Like, and they had barely any staff. There were a ton more people than I think they probably thought were gonna come. I don't know the full story. I was also 8 years younger than I am now, so I was very naive. I just kind of went with the flow, so I don't know. But what I do know was that it was an incredibly fun con. It was only one day for me, but it's funny because my first con day and my first con ever was right in the middle of a historically frustrating con for most other people who attended, so it was weird. But yeah, I had a really good time. I cosplayed as Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was really fun. And my friend and I had a really good time because we kept seeing all these really good Pyramid Head cosplayers and like trying to get them to like come at us. I don't know, it was weird. We weren't bothering anyone. It was just like we would try to catch their attention and be like, oh, and they'd be like, put their little helmet back on and run at us. We were like, oh my god. I don't know why we thought that was so amusing at the time, but I remember it like being really fun. It was a simpler time when everyone's wigs were horrible, and the most annoying thing anyone had to deal with at a con was the constant game of Marco Polo in the hallways that everyone insisted on playing that got old really quickly but just kept going. So my second con story is about a convention I also went to in 2008, but a little later in the year. Back in the day, it was incredibly difficult to find any information or just to really know about any cons in the area. Although, I will say, talking about 2008 as though it's like back in the day and how hard it was, like I'm sure people who were around trying to go to cons in like 1998 or whatever probably had a lot harder of a time, but just go with me here. So I searched around online and I found this little con in Cambridge, Massachusetts called United Fan Con, although it had its name changed or something to the New England Fan Experience. And honestly, it was one of the best con experiences of my life. They had like a ton of guests, like a weirdly large amount of guests, like a ton of famous actors, writers, voice actors. They had Power Rangers, like Vic Mignogna was there, Leonard Nimoy was there one year, parts of the cast of Twilight were there. It was weird. to have that many big industry guests, and the cost of the con was like, it was like $20 for the day or something stupidly inexpensive like that. And there were like a couple hundred of us there. It was weird. It was like you could just walk into a panel and there'd be like 30 of us listening to an hour-long panel from some really big industry guest. We'd all get to ask our questions, and we all got like individual attention from the guest. Like, I've never been huge into meeting industry guests. Like, it's not been a huge thing for me at conventions, but it is still really cool when the option is open to you. It was really fun. I'm pretty sure the con stopped running in 2010 because they didn't have a high turnout rate, but also shelled out a ton of money for guests. That's my theory, but I mean, I'll never really know. But it was a really great con, really well run. Final quick story I wanted to share with you guys is from 2014. This is also another small con. This was another AnimeCon, which is up in New Hampshire. I went with a friend of a friend who I kind of knew, but kind of didn't. We made it super relaxed. We got brunch first, then we went over. We kind of just took everything in. We were only there for a day. So like halfway through the day, we were trying to find something to do because we had already gone to the dealer's room and artist's room and whatever, and just kind of looked around. So we decided to just kind of sit in on some panels that we had no idea what they were, or we had no real interest in them, just to kind of just take it all in. And we saw this panel like Who Wants to Be an Anime Millionaire or something like that. And then I remember there was one other, and then we were at this panel that was about cosplaying and anxiety disorders and social issues and stuff. And it was really fascinating, and the person who was running it was really, really good. They were studying this kind of stuff. They were doing like a thesis paper on it. Really good moderator, really nice, and a really active listener to everyone who was talking. But basically, he would explain a few things and talk about a few things, and then people would just get up and tell their stories. And I've always come to expect people who go to cons to have some kind of social anxiety or whatever. But it's really interesting to hear everyone's stories in person and be, a part of that discussion. So I really enjoyed that particular panel, and it really opened me up to the idea that even if I read a description of a panel and go like, oh, whatever, if I don't have anything else to do, why not go and sit in on one? You never know what you might take out of an experience. So I thought that was really cool. Anyway, those are some quick little thoughts I had on a few of my con experiences. I definitely am going to try to make another one of these, maybe not necessarily longer, but maybe without holding a mic to my face. That'd probably be nice. There's a blue light, by the way, and I'm pretty sure it's just been in my face the whole time. The quality of this video. Oh my God. By the way, Pikachu is doing his best back there. I know his face is a little deflated. Give him a break. Can you tell I like Pokemon? Anyway, I hope you got something out of this, and I hope that you have con stories that you can share with me, whether it be leaving a comment about one of these cons or a different con, or even making a video and just sending me the link. That would be really cool. I'd love to just hear about other people's stories. Like, I used to try to look for panels at cons that were like con story panels. Like, I really like those when people all got to share. I like sharing my experiences, and I like hearing other people's experiences. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.